Hey guys, welcome back to PT Zenith. So in our previous videos, we would have discussed about the high weightage task and what was my journey in scoring a 90. We would have talked about preparation materials. In today's video, we are going to talk about the actual PT exam day as such, right? What would be the exact tips and tricks? So I saw a lot of videos which are posted on internet about what preparation materials have to be followed, what is the strategy for each and every task which are out. But I have not personally seen any video which talks about the actual PT exam day as such, right? And as you all know, no matter how much you score in your mock test or how well you practice in your how well you practice for your exam at home, what really matters is how well you do on your real PT exam day, right? So that is something that is going to get registered, and all your hard work that you do before the exam actually gets paid off on your exam day. So it is very essential that you follow the right strategies even on your exam day. It's not about practice, it's also about execution, right? So in this video, I've just posted few tips and tricks which I personally followed on my exam day, starting from what has to be done like few hours before the exam, what needs to be done while you are inside the exam center before starting the test, and during your test what needs to be done. So I've split this into three different sections as you see. So to begin with, you ensure that you reach your exam center 1 hour before the exam, okay? Because it's not like you just enter into the exam hall and you begin exam, right? There are a lot of verification that needs to be done, like your address verification, your fingerprints, all that needs to be validated even before you actually start the exam. So it's essential that you reach 1 hour before so that you will be relaxed and you can get over all these tests done, and you can just sit at your dedicated desk, um, thinking about the templates and such. So you would have some kind of a relaxation time if you do all this, because all test takers for that given day and given time slot needs to start at the same time. So just before you reach the exam, before or after, it doesn't mean you can take the exam later on or before. So since all test takers would be taking it at the same time, you it's essential that you go well ahead and just relax on your dedicated seat, thinking about different things, probably recollecting few things which you would have studied. Next comes passport. So that is something that needs to be validated. So ensure that your passport is not expired. If it is expired, they would not allow you to write the exam. uh, so that is straightforward. Next is dry throat. Yeah, this is very important. So as you know, the first task type in your PT exam is going to be speaking. So you should ensure that your throat is not dry as such. You don't strain your throat too much, and so that whatever you speak should be really recorded really well in your microphone. So ensure you don't have a dry throat. That way, that you don't fumble or hesitate in any kind of any kind of speaking task. Okay, so this requires you take minimal water before your exam, so that your throat is not dry, and don't try to strain too much, right? And next is obviously nature's call. So this again, people tend to forget it, but it plays a big difference in your actual exam day. So ensure you go to your restroom even before the test starts, right? They would not be allowing you to go to the restroom during your exam. Again, they have to stop, and there are certain things that might affect your exam during your exam. So ensure that you go to your restroom even before the exam starts, and insulated clothing. Okay, so this is something which I personally felt. Um, so please do remember that you're going to sit into an AC room, right? Obviously, if you're writing it in India, and so sometimes there could be a freezing temperature as well. So there's no point, going into a non-insulated clothing and you feeling shivered on one end, your voice is kind of shivering, and those kind of things happening. So you would not be able to concentrate on the exam. Rather, you would be thinking about how cold it is, or how to bear the freezing temperature there. So you shouldn't be distracted. So that's why I suggest you go ahead with some kind of an insulated clothing, right? And next comes during your exam, right? So they will be giving you a small notepad as such, which would be an erasable notepad. So they give it before the exam, and after the exam they take it, and they give you some kind of a like a sketch pen, which you can write on it, and again it's erasable. So you just have to ensure that the pens that you have is working. um, Again, it shouldn't dry out, so you always get an extra pen, so that you don't run out, because during your exam you cannot just stop. So by the time you raise your hand and call the invigilator, your exam might have moved on to the next question. So just have these two things checked even before your exam starts. And so before you start the exam, you might be sitting on your dedicated desk, and the probability problem things that you might do as revision is think about the different templates, because as soon as every question comes up, you wouldn't be having time to think what kind of question it is, or what should be my strategy, right? You should be very familiar with the templates, and at the same time you cannot write the templates on your notepad also before the exam, because you are allowed to write anything on the notepad only after you start the exam, right? So you cannot just write the template and just copy it down during the exam, so that is not allowed. Just think over spelling. So even on the exam day, don't try to do any kind of a mock test or anything, because that is going to tire you out. So I just suggest just go over ASQs, answer short questions and spellings, and do not strain yourself more than that on your actual PT exam day. Next comes speaker sound adjustment, which is really important. So you'll be given an headset. So different people have different mindsets with respect to the sound adjustment, right? So I might require a gentle sound, and you might require a loud sound. So you have to play that audio. So on the instructions, even before you begin an exam, there will be some kind of an instruction sheet once the invigilator enters the password. So you can do a lot of speaker sound test, right? So you can adjust your volume and perform different tests to ensure that you have the right sound in place. It shouldn't be too loud or it shouldn't be too soft. So that way it makes your life easier during the exam. So especially for listening, the sound is really critical. So, and you cannot say change the sound volume anywhere in between the exam. So even before the exam starts, ensure that you have the right sound, and especially on the louder side, but not too loud, right? That you get distracted. The next one is microphone voice test. Again, this is very, very important. So what you have to do is you just have to speak something and play it again and again, right? So there you can try different mic positions. So the most recommended mic position is having your microphone mic parallel to your actual lips. But I actually tried above my lips, right? Something parallel to my nose. The reason being, I found that that gives me the clear voice, is what I have personally observed, because I tried it below, right, parallel to my mouth, and then parallel to my nose. I found that lifting my microphone thing just above my mouth actually makes it bit easier. There is not much kind of a noise that is coming out, yeah, right, because you're speaking. So, and the wind doesn't blow out of your mouth directly into your microphone. So ensure that you have the right mic position. And many a times people lose out in pronunciation or content because they don't have the mic position most positioned correctly, right? So and there's no right or wrong kind of a adjustment position which you have. So you have to try it out, and you can always speak something and record it out. So what I did was I actually read the instructions sentence which is there, and I played it again and again. Trust me, I would have played it 6 to 7 times even before I started the exam. So this is to just to see whether my mic position is correct. And the second thing is your first task is going to be read aloud. So it's going to be a kind of a practice also for you to go over that instructions. Just read it on the computer, few sentences and just be ready for the exam. Okay. Next comes self introduction. So again, this is going to be an heads up for your read aloud as well. So ensure that you speak enough. Just talk about your experience, where you're working, why are you applying, why are you writing this PTE exam. So that is going to make you comfortable when you start your read aloud task. Next, during your exam, once you start the exam, there will be obviously disturbance from other test takers, because when you start the speaking, obviously other test takers near you are also gonna talk. So you guys all gonna talk at the same time, and it's the room is gonna give you a feeling of a call center. Okay, because everyone is talking at the same time. There could be few people who would be talking gently. There would be few people who would be screaming. So, but you shouldn't be disturbed, uh, and you shouldn't lose focus in your exam. So the headset that has been given to you will ensure that external noise is getting reduced. At the same time, whatever you speak is only going to get recorded. Okay, so when you speak at home, there could be some kind of a poor headsets that you might be using which doesn't have noise cancellation technology. However, when you actually do the real test, you will be given with some kind of a high technology noise cancellation headsets that would ensure that only your voice is getting recorded. So people might be scoring less at home. That could be also due to your headsets, especially when I did the mock test. In all my mock tests, I got less than 79 and speaking. However, on my real exam, I actually got 90. So I didn't do anything different. It's the same tone, same pitch, same content. It's just that probably because of the microphone or probably due to other disturbance, I did not get the 90 in my mock exam. And obviously, the AI scoring algorithm um, by Pearson is much, 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 much more efficient than the other practice platforms that you have. So don't get disturbed. Stay focused on your exam. Just read the content out there. Even if there are loudspeakers next to you, just completely avoid it and just listen and just read out whatever you have right on your speaking task. So once you get complete your speaking task, it's gonna be bit calm, okay, because probably everyone would have completed the speaking. So after that, you might not have any kind of a disturbance, but during the speaking session, you would face a lot of disturbance from other test takers. So you have to be prepared for it. So one thing which I did on my mock test is, if you Google for PTE background noise, right? If you just do that in the search, you would be finding a video. So you actually play it when you do the speaking session, right? When you do the mock exam, uh, just play that PTE background noise and then you attend your mock test. That way you get some kind of a real exam kind of an experience. So that is the thing that you have to do. Next is note taking. So obviously, when it comes to retail lecture or any of the listening tasks, you might be taking notes. So there will be sufficient notepads that have been given to you. So ensure whatever you write is clear, because the one that you write at home, um, I personally felt that it's much clearer for me to understand what I have actually wrote. But in a real exam, it will be given some kind of like a sketch pen kind of a pen. So the ink will be cluttered as such. So ensure you write clearly, even though you are supposed to write it really fast. Ensure I write it clearly on your notepad, and you can always use different pages, right? Need not write it on the same page in the corner or anywhere. Next is very important. This is something I thought I could have done but I didn't do. I just did it only for the listening. There will be an instruction time of 2 minutes for each and every section. For example, speaking and writing you do together, then you come reading and then writing, and listening, sorry. So for each one of these three different task types, you will be given an instruction time of 2 minutes. So that is something which you might be already familiar with, but I suggest you take that time and just get familiar with whatever task types that are going to come for you. That way you feel relaxed and then go ahead with that section, right? So make use of that 2 minutes time. In your new PTE format, obviously the listening time break has been cut down. so you wouldn't have the break at all. So it's going to be like a 2 hours sprint that you're going to run. So ensure that you actually take the 2 minutes for you to just relax and just think about what is going to come up next, right? That will help you a bit. And then last but not least, exam, ensure that you actually note down your exam memories, right? For example, right after your test, just sit down, think about what all questions that you got and just write it down. So if at all you didn't get your desired score, you can always go back to those questions and see where you went wrong, especially for FIB or ASQ, answer the short question, repeat sentence. So those are the things which you can actually find out, and even listening for that matter, questions and listening. You can always go back, even reorder paragraphs, especially. You can always go back and check where you went wrong and what you could have done better to actually get it right. So this is what I would suggest on your PT exam day. And in case if you like the video, do subscribe and comment. I will be posting more videos on the different template strategies soon. So do like and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you.